And okay, looks like I'm live, which is great, except that like I'm totally not prepared. So here's the thing, peoples. So I went to my convention. I was gone for like 6 days, and Ina got sick on Friday, like really sick, and then Sunday, so that was yesterday, Avi and I were both very sick, and I got nothing done yesterday. I basically laid on my couch and took care of Ina, and that was really all that I did, because we were very sick. Like, pretty sure it was flu, because I feel much better today. But I had like headache, body ache, my chest was tight. Yeah, that's the cat. That would be Marshmallow. He's right here. He decided that because I was sitting, I was fair game. Hi, don't bite me. You'd be nice. Anyway, yesterday was a bad day in terms of productivity. Anyway, so I have a whole bunch of things that I was working on today. Like, I had to pick the garden. Ina was great help with that, by the way. I have like a whole pile of veggies in my garage, and I rearranged my plant room because I have to bring all my plants in, because we're supposed to have our first really hard freeze tomorrow night, which is my birthday. So of course, a nice hard freeze for my birthday, right? But speaking of my birthday, if you didn't realize it yet, we have a giant sale going on. Hi, Cheryl. A giant sale going on at Black Sheep. So just go to the website, blacksheepfiberemporium.com, and we have 20% off of all the books, including pre-order books. We've got 25% off a ton of indie dyers, and we have 40% off of some of the staple things that we've had that we are not going to be carrying any longer. So the Universal, Sistari, things like that. So anyway, giant sale going on all the way through tomorrow night. So we kind of called it my Halloween/birthday sale. So, go check that out. And thank you for the birthday wishes, Leanne and Cheryl. And hi, Faith. Nice to see you. So anyway, I have been trying not to overdo things too much today, because I'm also trying to get ready for the Ozark Fiber Fling, which is this weekend. Can you believe that? Ozark Fiber Fling is already this weekend, and I have like 7 students in Mediterranean knotted lace. I have 3 students for my beginning tatting, and I think I have 5 students in my color work and steek it class. Anyway, and so like my box from Tina finally got here today, and I've been trying, I did a whole bunch of packing on Friday night to try to, get because I take stuff in suitcases. It's easier on my back to roll a suitcase in and flop it open than it is to do boxes or totes. So anyway, I packed a whole bunch of suitcases. My house has gone to, I have stuff everywhere right now. It's so dirty. And in fact, I didn't really have a good place to do my video today because I have stuff everywhere. So we're in my like dining room area, and there's like the random white wall behind me because that was the best I could do today. I'm trying to decide if I should take some hand spun to sell at Ozark, because of course with Spin Together, I spun a lot, and I'm not sure I'm going to get through all of it in a reasonable time frame. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I take any hand spun and offer any for sale? I don't know. I have like a whole box of it already, and then I added like 19 more skeins over Spin Together and what I had done in like August. So I kind of have some spinning that some hand spun that I got to do something with. Anyway, so that's kind of what's going on. And then if you have been following along at all, we also do the Year of Self-Care. So every month I pull a winner. I haven't pulled this month's winner yet. I need to do that because it is, of course, November 1st. We are in a brand new month, and that means we have a brand new theme for the month, and this is our month of thankfulness. So it's just thinking about the people that you're thankful for. My grandma Slack never learned to crochet or knit until she was in her 80s. Let that sink in for a second. Like, her mother had always encouraged her to learn to crochet, and she wouldn't do it. That would be my great grandma. And like, she just wouldn't do it. She didn't want to do what her mom did, whatever. So my grandmother was an embroiderer, and she gardened, and you know, she did artsy things, crafty things, but she never really sewed or Marshmallow. Leave that alone. Leave it alone, or I'll put you away while I'm doing my video. Such a rotten cat. Abby. Downstairs. Out. Sorry about that. I hate it when the dog barks on a video. It's just really irritating. Anyway, so when I am crafting, I think about my grandma a lot. When I'm gardening, I think about my grandma a lot. And she passed away several years ago now. But she was like my primary grandma, because I actually had lost 2 of my grandparents before I was born. So anyway, I only had one grandpa who died when I was 12, and then my grandma Norma. And she was my just primary grandparent. She's the one that I spent the most time with. She's the one that I knew the best. Not that I knew her very well, because when you're a kid, you don't think about, you know, how well you actually know your grandparents. But anyway, I think about her a lot, and I'm really thankful that she, you know, passed on her love of gardening, that she passed on her love of cooking and baking, and, dear God, the Jell-O salads, I don't make Jell-O salads, but my grandmother loved them. And she made some weird stuff. I've got recipes. She had made some weird stuff. Now, she made some really good things too, but she made some weird things as well. Anyway, so this month for our year of self-care, I'm thinking about my grandma when I'm crafting. And I also think about my very good friend, Elena Dixon. I call her my very good friend. I mean, I feel like she was a really good friend. I wasn't as close to her as I want to be now. But she also passed on, so she's not in my life anymore. So those 2 people that are gone, I'm thinking about. But I'm also thankful for my friends and family that I do have. Heather and Danielle from the Pearly Shell, and my friend Shannon with Singing Raven. Those 3 people, really good friends of mine. I'm really thankful for their friendship, and communicating with them almost every day. And of course, my business partner, Tina, because without her, we wouldn't have Black Sheep Fiber Emporium. So anyway, that's my month of thankfulness, as I'm thinking about all of those people who have influenced me and what they've done for my crafting. So I hope that you'll be doing the same thing for your year of self-care. And remember to post and hashtag BSFE or Black Sheep Fiber Emporium, either one, so I can find your post so you get entered in the monthly drawing. It's free monthly drawing. Anybody can enter, even if you haven't played along before. You just have to, you know, take a picture and tag us so that we know. That's kind of it. That's like the whole thing. Anyway, so let's talk about lace knitting now. I happen to really love lace knitting. I do most of my lace knitting on fingering weight yarn instead of what we consider lace weight yarn. And the reason that I do that is just that, I don't know, I just really love fingering weight yarn. So I do a ton of fingering weight lace. The project that I'm currently working on is actually one for Heather at Pearly Shell Fiber Arts, but it is a side-to-side shrug, and I know, doesn't that look weird? But what you do is you start with a cuff, and you knit it in the round, and then it opens up. And I actually have a couple of shrugs that are like this. My Paula shrug is like this too. But it opens up so that you can slip the shrug on. See, now you're getting the idea. So you start knitting it flat after you knit in the round for a little bit. Anyway, and then it comes across the back. And I'm in the back section right now. So anyway, comes across the back just like this. And then eventually I'll have another little sleeve over here. But anyway, I really love lace knitting, and I thought I'd talk a little bit about lace knitting versus knitted lace. And I also wanted to talk a little bit about my process, because of course, when you are designing lace knitting, there's always a lot of considerations. So let's start with this guy. So the first thing is, because I'm going side to side, I had to find a pattern that looked good when it was worn flat. And I liked this little motif. You can kind of see it there, kind of see it. Cheryl, I'm working on this pattern. It's not done yet. I just wanted to share a sneak peek. I'm working on it. I just don't have it done yet. And because I am working with 2 separate skeins of yarn, I decided that I was going to be good and alternate every 2 rows. So every 2 rows, I've just been carrying my yarn up the side and alternating, because it is indie dyed, it's hand dyed, so the colors are very similar, but they are not quite the same. So that is a way that you can use. Oh, awesome. Cheryl, I would love to have a test knitter for this. I have the pattern mostly written. So anyway, this guy, I am every 2, I don't even know if you can see it really. You can kind of see where I carry, oops, there we go, where I've been carrying the strand up the side. But every 2 rows, I swap my yarn so that I am making sure that I have kind of a continuous color so that I don't have like a really obvious break between my 2 skeins. So that's something to take into consideration. If you are using hand spun or hand dyed or both yarn, then you may want to make sure that you are alternating every 2 skeins so that you don't have a really obvious break in your colorway. So that's something to take into consideration with your lace knitting. Let's see, what else? If you have highly variegated, and this is variegated, but it's not terrible, and you can see the patterning. It'll show up better once I actually block this thing. But you can see the pattern in here. And the pattern is going to show up better in a solid or a semi-solid than it will in a really highly variegated yarn. This one's not bad. There is a little bit of variegation. You can definitely see that it obscures the overall pattern a little bit. But again, once this is blocked, a lot of that's going to go away, and I'll just add some texture to the overall pattern itself. Anyway, so those are some important considerations. Are what's your colorway, what's your yarn weight. You should always use a larger size needle than whatever is called for your yarn weight. So like this is fingering weight yarn. Usually you'd knit this on a 1 or a 2. I'm using, these are 5s. So I'm using 5s. I like it on 4s, I like it on 6s. So anywhere between a 4 and a 6 is usually really good for lace when it comes to fingering weight yarns. When you're using a true lace weight, you'll use anywhere from a 1 to a 4 usually. It depends a little bit on your gauge. Some people knit tighter, some people knit looser. So that's an important thing to remember as well, that when you are working on your lace, you do want it to open up, so you don't want it to be really tight. Sometimes people have issues because, you know, we want these holes to open up. We want this lace to open up and be really open. And sometimes what happens is when people are doing their yarn overs, they accidentally knit them through the back loop. And then what that does is it closes the hole down like this and makes it really tiny. And you don't get a really big, pretty open hole like you do with a regular yarn over. So that's another thing to be aware of, is how you knit also affects your lace. So if you're someone who twists their knitting or twists their purls, then you may need to make sure that you are either untwisting when you come to the yarn overs, or that you are making a conscious effort to not twist your stitches so that you have nice big open holes instead of little tiny closed down holes. So that's an important thing to remember as well. Let's see. When I go to design a pattern, this is my pattern. I like to have my pattern all set up and ready to go. And here are my charts. And one of the things that I do is I always do charted and written instructions on my patterns. It's really important that you read your patterns though and make sure that you know whether it's just charted, just written, or both. Because if you're someone who doesn't like a chart, although I can't imagine why, then you wouldn't want to buy a pattern that is only a chart. And if you're someone who really loves a chart, again, you wouldn't want to buy a pattern that's only written unless you're willing to make the chart for it. So, I mean, there's always concessions. If it's something you really love, you'll find a way to make it either way. But I like to make my charts so that they're pretty big, so that they are fairly easy to read. I like to put the pattern repeat in, usually in red or blue, so it's easier to see. And I always, try to mark it and say, hey, this is my pattern repeat. I did discover that in my center chart that I have an issue because when I wrote it, I forgot. See this little guy right here? This is a slip one, knit two together, pass the slip stitch over. So it decreases 2 stitches. Yeah, I forgot about that being at the edge on that side. So I actually have to go in and rewrite my pattern just a smidgen so that that last row actually has a beginning pattern repeat, a pattern repeat, and an ending pattern repeat. Because again, I have to account for that double decrease so that it flows across my patterning. So anyway, there's just a ton of things that you have to think about when you're doing lace knitting. If you love charts, it's really important to make sure that you know where your chart key is. A lot of times I don't put the instructions in for how to do something because my key tells you how to do something. So like this symbol's a knit front and back, so it tells you knit in the front and back in the same stitch for the right side. And sometimes, so for example, sometimes on patterns like this, and specifically my charts, a lot of times I don't put the even rows in my patterns. I just give you instructions like all even rows are do this on the edge and then purl your way across. So you'll see that the numbers are, and it's going to be backwards, but say 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So you always read this chart from right to left, and you read your chart every other row. So you only read it for your odd or your right side rows. And again, that's something that's written in your pattern. Marshmallow, I can't hold you right now. He's very insistent today. He really wants love. Anyway, so all of these things are really important to take into consideration and to look at when you are beginning your lace knitting journey to make sure that you can be successful. And if you're having trouble, of course, you can always send me an email and I'll try to help you out, especially if it's one of my patterns. Sometimes I find that however I've written it made sense to my brain at the time, but now there's a better way to write it. So that's a helpful thing. It's a very helpful thing. Let's see, what else do I need to tell you guys about lace knitting? So there's lace knitting and there's knitted lace, and a lot of people use them interchangeably. Technically, lace knitting is where you are doing patterning on both the right and wrong side rows, and knitted lace is what I make all the time, which is it's patterned on one side and then has a rest row on the back. I really, really like the rest row, especially with my kid, because I can be like, okay, just a minute, let me, do my thinky row. Okay, now you can talk to me, and I can do my rest row while my little munchkin is, anyway, interrupting me every 2 seconds. Okay, it's not every 2 seconds, but that's what it feels like. She has been so sick, too. She picked up some flu, head cold thing. It's not COVID, trust me. But it is not pleasant, and she's in the, blowing, icky, yellow-green snot stage, and she's, waking up all the time, and she's not sleeping well, and so it's been not that fun. Pretty much since, she just kind of started to really get sick on Friday, and she hasn't honestly slept through the night the entire month of October. We went to visit my family. We came home with some head cold that my niece and nephew had. We all got sick with that right at the beginning of the month, and then we were all kind of better right before I went to convention. And I took Ina to a friend's house, and she went and had fun and stayed at the friend's house for a few days, but apparently picked something up from one of the little kids she played with. Anyway, I brought her home Wednesday, and then by Friday she was very, very snotty sick, not happy. So it has not been pleasant here at all, at all. But now that I've given you a lot of my tips and tricks for lace knitting, yeah, she probably does need more vitamin C. I've been giving her gummy vitamins. I swear, Bev, I am. And she's been drinking apple juice. I don't know that apple juice has a ton of vitamin C in it, but she loves her apple juice, so we've been, apple cider both. So we've been drinking both of those. Anyway, let's see. So I want to talk a little bit about what to expect on Wednesday and kind of for the rest of the month. Wednesday, we're just going to have like a crafty chatty day because I have nothing planned right now and I've lost a day to being sick. So I am trying desperately to get all of my things done before I leave for Ozark Fiber Fling on Thursday. So Wednesday, we're just going to have a random chatty day. I might talk to you more about lace knitting. We might do some Mediterranean knotted lace or some tatting. I might, take you in to see the chickies because we have new chickies. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do, but we're just going to have a random day. I've moved almost all of my plants inside now. We're supposed to have a hard frost tomorrow night, like I said. So the garden is kind of not going to be that pretty anymore. So I can't really take you on a walk outside. I should show you the garden now before it dies. Because, and Ina was such good help today. I put her in gloves and a hat, and her little coat, like her really good puffy coat. And we went outside and she helped me pick all the peppers off the pepper plants. And she thought it was really fun to put it in the little red wagon. And yeah, I keep trying to get her to take honey, but my child is particular. I'm going to use the word particular. Avi and I both love vegetables of like multiple shapes, flavors, and sizes. I grow a ton of vegetables in the garden. I grow beets and the spinach didn't grow very well, but Swiss chard. I didn't have any Swiss chard this year. I had kale this year though. And I put in some like tatsoi and bok choy and cauliflower and all kinds of hot peppers and sweet peppers and tomatoes and pumpkins. And like, I grow so much in the garden. Really, I grow so much in the garden. My kid won't eat any of it. She kind of nibbles on lettuce once in a while, but it's really like, I can't even get her to eat honey. I mean, it's honey. Who doesn't like honey? It's sweet, it's sticky, it's tasty. No. It has just been, anyway, not very fun. But anyway, I'm going to show you my plant room really quick so you can see my insanity. It's not even full yet because again, I still have a little bit on the deck that I have to bring in, but I got tired and I had to do my video. So I'm going to show you. Don't like judge me too much for my very messy house because it's a wreck right now. Like, super wreck. Okay, here we go. I've been working to clean this room up. These were my grandmother's, speaking of thankful. This is a Thanksgiving cactus. So is this one. This one did better this year. I think they got too much sun, and they're kind of pink. I brought in my husband's super chili plant. I cut it down today and brought it in because he just loves his super chili, and we kept it last year, so I'm going to try and keep it this year. This is my random box that has like one really nice lettuce in it, and then there's a bunch of mint and thyme and a bunch of little sprouty things. Citronella, that's a purslane plant that the kids gave me when I judged at County Fair this year. I have a sad looking little mint, and then we had issues getting the huckleberries and the canes in, so I just potted them for the winter. I'm hoping that they'll survive. And then that was a strawberry. This little guy's a strawberry that I actually grew from like strawberry seed. And then I have a big thing of mostly chives over there. And then Ina really wanted to plant peas today. So I let her have this box, and this box is now hopefully going to be pea plants for her. Here are the chickies. These are the new chickies. Uh-oh, I gotta clean their water again. Say hi, chickies. These are more little silkies. I have a friend that hatched some little chickies for us and for himself, and so I picked those up, and so they grow out in the plant room. This is my giant wandering dude. I've had this for several years. The kids at the Lincoln County Fair here in Missouri gave me this plant, and well, I do really well with it. And then, of course, rosemary, an Easter cactus. That's a Thai chili. Several curry trees. This is the lettuce that Ina planted. She's very proud of. And then I've got a couple little Easter cacti that I grew from seed there. A ton of aloes. Look at all my aloes. I have so many aloes. Man, if somebody wanted an aloe, I should give one away. This is a Christmas cactus, so there's a difference between Christmas cactus, which this one is. Oops, knocked that piece off. That's okay. So this one's Christmas cactus because it has smooth edges versus the Thanksgiving cactus, which has spiky edges, versus the Easter cactus, which has these little hairs. So it has notches and hairs. So I have all three kinds just because I find them interesting. And then this was a, yeah, I totally screwed this little batch of Thanksgiving cacti back up. And then I have some parsley. I think that's a lettuce plant that Ina put in there. It's more Christmas cactus, Thanksgiving cactus, and this is my little experiment. I crossed two different Thanksgiving cacti. So I have all these little sprouts that have started. So I'm hoping that I get some kind of interesting Christmas cacti. I mean, Thanksgiving cacti. Those are Thanksgiving cacti. Here's my big curry tree. Tina, here's my lemon tree. I think it needs more fertilizer because it's looking really light. And I have some lemons on it again, but they're not quite ripe yet. And then I have a few orchids. So that's an orchid, an aloe. This guy is another Thanksgiving cactus. Aloe, Thanksgiving cactus, aloe, 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 aloe. So many aloe because for some reason they love me. And then a couple more orchids. So anyway, I brought all of these in the last day while I was sick, like really sick yesterday, but I knew they had to come in. Anyway, and I still have a couple more. Oh, look, this is flowering. Look at this. Have you ever seen that? Looky there. Huh. That's cool. I didn't even know that thing flowered. I mean, it has to flower, but whatever. Anyway, so there's the chickies, the new chickies. So now you've seen my plant room with all my things in it. And then, like I said, we were outside and I was desperately picking the garden because it is, you know, almost gone. Well, I shouldn't say that. The garden looked great, but we're going to have a hard freeze here in 2 more nights. Stay. So anyway, hang on. Because I haven't brought all this in yet. This is what came out of my garden, people. Spent an hour and a half out there. Pumpkins galore. We've got a few leeks. This whole thing is like beets underneath the pumpkin. I don't know if you can see all the beets in there. So many beets, giant beets. That's my beet greens because we do eat those sauteed. And then this whole bag is hot peppers. This whole bag. Hot peppers. And then I have a whole bunch of the little Thai chilies here. And then under here is my pile of sweet peppers and eggplants. And then more pumpkins. So many pumpkins. Pumpkins. Anyway, uh-oh, I dropped some. I gotta pick those up. Yeah, I cut those down and so I could bring them in, and now I've gotta... Oh, and there's Charlie. By the way, that cat right there crawled in my car on Saturday night. And I was sick all day on Sunday. Remember, sick. And he was in my car from Saturday night until this morning when I realized I hadn't seen him all day yesterday. And that wasn't normal. So I'm hoping that I don't have a lot of cat pee. Anyway, get back. So yeah. All right, now you've seen, yeah, my plants and my plant room and my giant pile of produce that came out of the garden. Oh, and I should show you. I'm just gonna do this from the deck because I have wool socks on because you know it's cold enough here. I've got wool socks on. But like I got to deal with these guys. This was my snail vine plant, and I actually got 2 good-sized pods on it. But I don't want them to die because I want my pods to. Anyway, whatever. I thought that was going to be a good pumpkin out there, but it's not. Anyway, so there's my garden. So over this side, that like really green pile of stuff was the peppers. That's the sweet peppers and the hot peppers. I still have to do something with my kale. Hi, Angelus. I haven't done anything with the mustard. I have to deal with that. I forgot to pick the okra, so I gotta go pick the okra before it gets frosted. I have to decide if I'm gonna bring the other Thai chili plant in that had those little lime green ones. Yeah. So I got a ton of stuff that I still have to deal with, and then Charlie's already here. Charlie. Oh yeah, and I gotta take down my hummingbird feeder because the hummingbirds are gone for the season, and this is where usually I've got like plants everywhere, and you'll notice like I'm getting down to where I don't have many pots left. I just have to sort of clean out my pots and decide what goes where, because we're moving into the cold season, but it's also the time of year where I knit more and I craft more and I'm inside more, and you know, it's not all bad. It's not all bad. Bye-bye garden, hello crafting. So anyway, all right. Well, peoples, it has been a lovely chit-chat, and like I said, I will be back on Wednesday afternoon about 3:30 again, and we're just kind of going to do a crafty, chatty Q&A. So if you have questions about anything that I do in terms of knitting, tatting, Mediterranean knotted lace, weaving, sewing, quilting, gardening, rabbits, you know, anything that's not too personal, I'll be around, and I'm happy to chit chat and answer and show you stuff, just to you know, have a nice little chitty chat day. I'll make sure that I get the event up for the rest of this month, because I do have Ozark over the weekend. If you're going to Missouri this weekend, you can come see me at Steelville. Cute little, well, I think it's the Baptist Retreat Center or something or other at Steelville. Steelville is a super cute town. Tina actually went with me to Steelville the year that I was pregnant, because I was like, I really want to do it, but I can't do it alone. So she flew in, even though it cost us money, and we did Steelville and had fun, and it was a ton of fun. And anyway, I'm really, really looking forward to it this year, because again, I have, what did I say? 10. I've got 15 students. I have 15 students. I got 15 people, maybe, whatever. I have 15 students over 3 classes that I get to teach and talk to and share my love of Mediterranean knotted lace and tatting and colorwork and steeking. So it's super exciting for me. And I am getting copies of Elena's book. I need to put them up so that you can pre-order them. But I'm getting copies of Elena's book, both her second book of lace and her Babila, which is the flower book. So we are going to have them available. I'll get them up so you can pre-order them and still get the discount today or tomorrow if you want them. I'm just getting a few to test the waters if you're interested in Mediterranean knotted lace. And I will be doing more demonstrations with that in the future, because I really love the art form and I want to share it with all of you. I'm even thinking of trying to write some patterns. So anyway, we're going to try it. And yes, at some point I am going to be roasting a bunch of pumpkins. I might roast some pumpkin seeds as well, because I've done that in the past. It's very simple. And the hardest part's really washing the seeds, not actually roasting them. Anyway, so yeah, I have tons of processing ahead of me in the next couple of weeks, but we're going to do more fun stuff as we get into our thankfulness. Ina's birthday is the 28th. My birthday is the 2nd. So this is our like birthday month. And of course we have Thanksgiving and all kinds of fun stuff coming up. We're not very far from Christmas. We have a super awesome embroidered advent. If you're into embroidery and you want to do an advent calendar, we have a really, really cool one from Japan, but we have to make the order soon. So if you want it, please go pre-order it. I put a little discount on it if you're going to go pre-order it, because it helps us to make sure that we have enough for everybody. Ina told me that she wants one. So Tina, I have to order one for me, because she saw me looking at it and decided that she wanted that. Mommy, I want that. I like that. I'm like, oh, goody. I was going to avoid doing this one. Oh, well. Anyway, and like I said, don't forget, we have a giant sale going on over at Black Sheep Fiber Emporium. So it's, like I said, 20% off all the books, 25% off a bunch of indie dye, 40% off a bunch of staples. I mean, and all the prices are there on the website. So please go shop and help us out. We need to get the inventory down so it's easier for Tina to move. So please go buy yarn and other stuff, but especially the yarn. Anyway, I think that's all I have for today. All right, I will see you guys on Wednesday. And until I do, as I always say, please take care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and craftually. I think I covered everything. Make sure that you're crafting just a few minutes every day. Don't forget to take those pictures and post them up for the year of self-care. And I will try to get the winter pulled here. I need to take a little break after all the things that I just did. And kind of rest a little bit since I was, yeah. Oh, Tina's going to do them for the Advent on YouTube. So she's going to stitch the Advent on YouTube videos. So if you want to have like a virtual assistant, then you'll be able to watch Tina do some of the stitching for the Advent on YouTube. Not all of it. I'm not committing her to all of it, but she'll at least show you some of what she's working on with the Advent. So anyway, and I think that sounds super fun. I will probably end up showing you some of that too, because, if we're doing it, might as well. Maybe Tina and I will have to get together and we'll do like a co-video or something, a partner video with a little bit of the Advent. That could be fun too. Anyway, so yeah, that's all kinds of fun stuff coming up. Big sale right now, all the way through tomorrow night for Halloween and my birthday, and to help us with moving. So big sale, please go shop. Don't forget to post your year of self-cares. I'm going to get the prize winner soon. And like I said, it's open to everybody. So, and we have this month and next month, and that's the end of the year. So, isn't that crazy? And then, like I said, look forward to just more. We're going to do more of everything. So, I'm going to have more tatting, more Mediterranean knotted lace, more knitting, more spinning, and more weaving throughout the end of the year. Yeah, because that's what we do around here. More sewing, more quilting, just more of everything. So remember, Wednesday, we're going to do chitty chat. Next week, I don't know, I'll start throwing the events up so you can see what we're planning on. And, anyway, all kinds of fun. And Tina's doing a ton of Irish crochet, and she says that she's going to do all of the little Advent stuff. So she's going to show you all the little Advent things, I think. I'm not committing her to that. If she commits herself, that's fine, but I'm not committing her to that. Anyway, and books. Oh my gosh, we have so many books coming in. So buy the books. Buy the books because they're really good. Anyway, all right, people. I will see you on Wednesday. Take care of yourself and keep crafting. Okay? Go shop blacksheepfiberemporium.com. Bye.